eNCA, a rather quick first day for Zille's disciplinary hearing.
That's right. It was one of the several pre-trials, if you like, that are going to be held ahead of her official disciplinary hearing. It seems to be run pretty much the same as a Labour Court hearing, something at the CCMA, or in the High Court even, in which there's a three-person panel, almost like a three-person bench. There's a prosecutor, which in this case is Glynis Breitenbach, and then of course Helen Zille herself has her own counsel. What happened today, I understand, was they set time frames for the filing of documents, much like court heads of argument and filing papers, and they will meet again on the 30th of June in another pre-trial conference to set an official date for that disciplinary hearing.
eNCA, you asked her the question as she arrived there this morning. Any clarity on why she's been suspended ahead of her DC?
I think the federal executive is going to argue that it's it's quite clear in their constitution, in their party rules, that a party member can be suspended ahead of a disciplinary hearing if that person is doing damage to the party ahead of the DC. Now, as you can see, that disciplinary hearing could take quite some time, so perhaps they'll argue that they want her out of the mix. They don't want her attending any functions or speaking at any events because she may carry on with this colonialism debate, and they feel that enough damage has already been done to the party. But it's certainly something I think that Helen Zille is going to argue against. And when I did speak to her and said, do you think it's okay that you've been suspended ahead of your disciplinary? She said, I think that's something you must ask the federal executive. But she said it in such a way that indicated she did not think it was fair, and she is going to question whether she should in fact be suspended ahead of her disciplinary.
She was in high spirits this morning. We saw her arriving there singing. What was it like when she left there? Did you manage to have a word with her then?
I did. She was courteous, she was matter of fact. She asked me to please not call her Madam Premier. She said nobody calls her that except for Julius Malema, so that clears that up then. And she was very straightforward. She said time frames have been set. I asked her if she has what her relationship is like now with Mmusi Maimane, the leader of the DA, and she said well, she politicked it, she spun it, but she said she thinks history will judge her as having done the correct thing. She has the utmost respect for Mmusi, that has not changed, that her and Mr. Maimane have a relationship that goes back a very long way. She was a mentor for Mr. Maimane, and that I said directly, could you unpack that? What is your relationship like? Do you have any hard feelings about him, towards him? Because he actually suggested and put forward the motion that she be suspended, and she said no, she's not angry with him at all, but she does think that she is doing the right thing. I said to her, the criticism and the perception is that she's out of touch, that she doesn't understand how her tweets, which seemingly were pro-colonialism, although she would argue against that, were extremely hurtful to so many people, not just people who've suffered so terribly under colonialism and apartheid, but people who feel that, white South Africans who feel that was an awful thing that's happened. And she said she lies awake at night and she thinks very hard about it. She was pleasant, and she said it's something that she thinks a lot about. Is she doing the right thing? Has she done the right thing? And she thinks, and I say thinks because she put the emphasis on that, she thinks history will judge her correctly. She certainly seems to be fighting this. She's not going to go down without a fight, but I think it's going to be a very long process.
eNCA, before we let you go, we're always talking about factionalism within the ANC and the many directions the governing party is split into. What might this do to the main opposition, especially given that elections are on the cards, it's on everyone's mind? How might this affect the main opposition?
If you just judging from what insiders are saying within the DA, they really believe that this has created a tremendous fracture within the party. Helen Zille has so much support here in the Western Cape and in other parts of the province, in parts of Gauteng as well. But the overwhelming majority of the federal executive said that she had to be suspended. And I think that there is deep division within the DA over this. She has been an archetypal figure, if you like. She has grown the party, but her comments have caused great distress to so many potential voters and DA voters. And the sentiment on the ground is that Helen Zille needs to exit perhaps gracefully. A political solution, a graceful political solution, elegant solution needs to be made within which she can survive her legacy and also boost the party at the polls in 2019.